So you know about those disclaimers you see at the end of movies, usually when you fall asleep halfway through and wake up when the credits are almost over? After all the logos and you see text like this, the main purpose of this is to inform the viewer that the preceding film was entirely fictional and not based at all on real people or events, debatable, protected under copyright laws, and that unauthorized use of the film or any part thereof is illegal, very debatable, that no animals were harmed when making the film. I'm not even going to get into that one, because that'd be too much of a downer. And finally, that no one received any payment or anything of value in connection with tobacco products. I don't really care enough about that to say anything more. Films can include any or all of these disclaimers depending on the content of the movie in question, and they also pop up on TV shows, and I'm not sure if they're also included in video games, though if they're required for other mediums, I don't know why video games, or at least modern ones, would be any different. However, I'm here to tell whoever it may concern that these disclaimers are outdated and need an overhaul. Not because they're untrue, mind you, but because look at how inefficient they are. Who's going to read this much text? Not the majority of audience members, that's for sure. Hollywood, the MPA, whoever's listening, I'm here to introduce a new standardized formula for these disclaimers that is more efficient, consistent, and overall superior to the one you have now. First, the all-persons fictitious disclaimer, meant to signify that the preceding work was not based on real people or events. Again, this is debatable. Plenty of films get their inspiration from reality, even if they're not directly based on any actual events. It's also kind of redundant. Like, with more realistic films I can kind of understand, but really? You need to tell me this is fiction? Thanks, that helps a lot. In any case, this disclaimer is usually 2 to 3 sentences long, a flagrant waste of space. I mean, who needs to read that much? No, this won't do it all. But if I employ my patented process, you will see. I believe the results speak for themselves. How about the copyright disclaimer? The most commonly reads, this motion picture is protected under the copyright laws of the United States and other countries throughout the world. Any unauthorized exhibition, distribution, or copying of this, yeah, you get the idea. This one's meant to tell anyone watching not to pirate the film they're seeing, or else they'll get sued. Clearly, this doesn't mean to a lot of people, all of which would have probably done it anyway regardless of this text, so if you can't make people listen to it, the least you could do is shorten it up. Like so. How about the tobacco warning, meant to indicate that no one associated with films depicting tobacco use receive anything of value for said depictions? Well, with Hollywood being the hellish garbage heap of favor and cover-ups that it is, I find this statement somewhat suspect, but again, if you really need it and we're supposed to take it at face value, what can we do to improve upon it? Perfect. Last but certainly not least, the animal disclaimer. Probably the only one of these most of you care about. After all, we wouldn't want to watch a movie with live animals in it without getting confirmation that all those doggos, kitties, horsies, and whatever else they feature made it out okay, right? Especially when what's shown on screen suggests otherwise, and especially when historically, some filmmakers have been slightly less concerned with the well-being of their animal cast members. Now in this instance, the most commonly seen disclaimer is actually pretty short and to the point, so there's not as much to tinker with, but we can certainly try. Let's see. There we go. Folks, I think we all know by now that Hollywood can be a pretty deep and dark place. And while I can't act like I can fix everything about it, I do know that sometimes it's the little things that make the biggest difference. Like making sure the audience doesn't have to read as much. See ya!